I don't want that argument. I don't want it. Now, I understand, like I said, there are stylists who are ridiculous. There are stylists who are unreasonable. There are stylists who are... I'm not talking about people who are eating chicken over your head and have their boyfriend leering at you while you're trying to get your hair done. Those aren't licensed people anyway. I'm talking about, and if they are licensed, shame on them. And have you holding their babies, and just, if they're not going to act professional or cancel on you because they have a headache or all these other things, if they're not going to, because I've had those people come in to school where this lady, she's been canceled on like twice for ridiculous, unprofessional reasons. Those are not good reasons. I was hungover. You knew you had a client. Your man problems are not my problems. So I'm not disrespecting clientele. But I'm saying that's not the stylist for you. You want a certain level of service, you need to go to a certain level of stylist. I know there's barbers, and that was a conversation all over the internet. It still is. Well, why should we have to pay $50 to $100 if all I get is 15,000 breaks for you to smoke weed? The place stinks like weed. You don't even dress professionally. You don't look professional. And there's a barber on Facebook. He gets ridiculous comments up the ass because he puts himself to a certain holds himself to a certain level. He dresses professional. He even has locks, and they look professional, and they're neat and they're nice. His footwear is professional. Where he works is nice. He's not blowing smoke in everybody's faces. He isn't reeking of weed. Because only certain types of clientele want that type of barber or stylist. They don't want to smell that. Even people, I don't care. You could be a brain surgeon and smoke weed. When you go and have your meeting with your surgeon, because when I have my heart surgeries, I meet the surgeon. They come in and they talk to you. They're not stinking of weed. The hospital does not stink of weed. The nurses are not stinking of weed. And if they do, that's a raggedy hospital, and I would not trust anything that goes on there. That's not professional. What you do in your personal time needs to stay in your personal time and stay behind your four walls. That's the baby mamas, that's the wife, that's the husband, that's the baby daddies, that's the kids, that's whatever's going on that has nothing to do with this client needs to stay out of here. It needs to get out of here. So I understand clients who are, why should I pay this? Why should I have to do this? All you did was put on a white glove and got a ring lamp. I understand if the level of service and professionalism is not up to par with what they're asking you to pay. I'm not ever going to not agree with you on that. If you paid a good penny, a pretty penny, and someone's constantly on the phone and they speak to you like you're not even a human being and pulling on your hair and they don't listen, and you say, please, can you not pull my hair that tight if you're getting braids, and they don't listen, or there's arguing and all types of nonsense, I would be mad too. You have an actual case, and I understand that. But again, that's not this place. That's not the salon. That's not the stylist for you. That's not the barber for you.
Once again, not a professional. However, I think...
And she even said she could see the damage from that. You can't.
It's dead.
Your hair should not be able to stand up straight in the air like that. Now, I don't know. Maybe she used a lot of coconut oil. I don't know why, because I'm not her stylist and I'm not licensed yet. But your hair should not be able to stand up in the air like you're from, what is that? Whoville. It should not do that. And I didn't even have to get into this video to understand what the problem is.
It's not about what we could do. It's if I could get it straight enough to cut it.
And that is a conversation of, and I've seen those people, well, you're not doing it straight. It's not straight to the root. It's not straight to, and my goodness. You have neglected your hair to the point it won't go straight. There's damage to the point, like the curl, you can't even get a curl. There's that damage. There's damage to the point you can't even get it straight.
Okay, this comment right here, for me, this is when the consultation changes.
And she's saying that if you can't even perform the service, don't perform the service, and tell her good day. And I absolutely agree with that. I've seen, and there's another video I think I saved where the stylist was arguing and it all blew up. But I even said on the video, the stylist was wrong because she kept taking this person as a client, knowing that she had issues with the client not taking care of her hair. Then you don't take them as a client anymore. You don't, where this is now going, keep taking this person, trade barbs with them and personal blows, and as women butting heads, and then it blows up. And now who looks the fool? The client could have been dead wrong. Well, she doesn't take care of her hair. She doesn't take any of it, even though this is a first time, so that wouldn't apply. But still, you look the fool because you are supposed to be held to a different standard. And I believe in that. If a person sees no value in what you're saying, it needs to put a kibosh to it. It needs to end. Don't bother. If this woman wants to come in, and I'm not saying she did, I don't know. I'm saying if this woman, I don't know her personally. I know clients, I've dealt with people. I'm not talking about her personally, the client personally. If all she wanted to do was come in and clout chase and knowing there's issue and there's been nasty texts behind the scene and she knows there's beef and all this other whatever, and this was a gotcha moment or whatever, you're the one who gave it to her. You should not have accepted her.
Silky enough or straight, just not even silky, straight enough for me to cut it. If I could get it straight enough for me to cut it, then we could sit and look and have that discussion. Right. But I can't, if you like.
And that's when I could tell she's frustrated. And I didn't need to see any more of that because she's frustrated with explaining. Apparently this went on for 45 minutes before this point. That should not have happened. We are grown women. We are grown adults. I'm not going to have an argument. Situation happened at beauty school. Lovely older woman and her disgusting daughter. This is why I don't like these conversations solely on the stylist, because y'all come in, and my client was the older woman. So, and there was problems outside of them, but it was a setup for me because this industry is full of ain't shit niggas and trash and snakes in the grass and narcissistic people and all of the above. So I personally believe that was a setup. Anyway, how our school works is our instructor, who's no longer an instructor anymore, tells us what a client wants and what to do on that client, right? So I did what I was told. And then I was told, are you cutting her hair? And I thought that was an accusation. Because I've had a lot of clients, I shouldn't say a lot, quite a few clients think I'm cutting their hair for reasons unknown. There's some type of trauma that has gone around the Black community that I don't understand. I wasn't raised by Black people, so it's unknown to me that nasty people are just cutting people's hair and sneaking in relaxers and doing dastardly things to them just for shits and giggles. I don't understand it. I don't understand that level of person. Anyway, if someone is actually doing that to you, shame on them. But that's what I thought this was, that I was being accused of cutting someone's hair. And I said, no. And this was not the lady. I think this older woman had like memory issues or something, because she could have done it herself. And we have plenty of older clients who come in, right? And they handle their own appointments. Anyway, the daughter, this is the daughter. Everything that's being said is from the daughter. She says that when I go places, they usually just trim her hair. They look at her hair and know it needs a trim. Well, number one, I'm not a licensed person. Number two, this is a school. And number three, if I was licensed, I would want to build up the client rapport to where I'm trusted enough by the client that we would be on that level where I could just pick up some shears and do that, and they would trust me that I'm not just doing them wrong. Like, I'm not cutting hair to cut hair. I'm not going in because I'm envious of your length or I want to butcher you, or this is some weird personality disorder that's going on. Like, I'm not a sociopathic, psychopathic person who's just doing nasty things. Like, I would want to build up that client rapport before just going in with shears. And I don't even know you. I don't know your hair. I don't know what's going on. So I said, I can. And my instructor at that time, he's not an instructor anymore, turned around because he heard that said, he's like, you scared me. I thought she was just cutting hair. And the daughter said, no. And then she said what she said. Like, people would look at it. When I go places, people look at it and realize it needs a trim. It got worse from there because she kept adding things that were not on the ticket and were not what I was told. Not what I was told, period. I was told shampoo, blow dry, flat iron. That didn't occur. That was not what was wanted. The shampoo was, and the blow dry was, and that was the setup. So I'm not going to sugarcoat. I went to a different instructor who was in the back and cried, and they came out, did what the other instructor should have done, and basically was professionally nice nasty. And that's when and that instructor told me, you need to do your own, what's the word I'm looking for? Consultations. There we go. That I need to do my own consultations, which I took totally on board and will be doing. So, because it helps train you anyway to be a professional. And she told me and she wasn't saying this to blame me, and I know that. She said, if you had taken the consultation yourself, this would not have happened. And she wasn't saying that to blame me. She was just saying it. And she was right.